Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for mid-June 2022. We're going to just jump right in here, Leo, and we are going to see what is going on for you at this time. You have this All That Glitters card, which is interesting. It's like a card that says all that glitters is not gold, but this row is actually relatively positive, so we're going to have to see what's going on here. This whole entire deck is still upside down. I still haven't fixed it, but that's okay. So we're just going to go through here. You show up in a strong position, which is nice, but let's see what we have going on for you. You have this All That Glitters card. There are these two masks on this, pile of gold here. And it kind of says that something that you think is amazing might not be as amazing as you think it is. It's like there's a saying, all that glitters is gold, but this is kind of like saying all that glitters might not be gold. And, I kind of do feel that for you here. Although this is a very good reading, I just feel like something, maybe needs a little bit of work here, basically. You have the, in your first row, I'll just show you. You have the 10 of Cups, the 8 of Wands, and the 4 of Wands. And then it's kind of weird to go from that, which is amazing, to 9 of Swords, Hangman, Moon. It's like something didn't turn out as you expected. I feel like this is something that's already happened as well because it's showing up in your past position. Like 10 of Cups is happy home, happy family. Could be love. Maybe you thought something was going to lead to a happy... Sorry, my camera might have just turned off. You might have thought something was going to be a happy home, happy family, and it actually wasn't. You might have thought you were going to marry a person, you actually didn't. So, again, like I said, I feel like there was almost some sort of disappointment that you experienced in the past. The weird thing is, I feel like this is still an opportunity. I feel like you can still have this first row, plain and simple. It just if it's a person, maybe it's a different person, but you can still have your happily ever after, like your 10 of Cups. If it's business or work, same thing. You can still have this. It's just maybe not going to look like you thought it was with that All That Glitters card, but that's fine. Again, you're probably going to end up in a better position. You're not the only sign that has had a message like this. And again, to me, this is Neptune and Pisces. Like, to me, Neptune and Pisces is notorious for kind of thinking that you're going one direction, but you're actually going another. It's kind of like you might think you want to be a billionaire, rocket Elon nerd or something like that, but you're actually going to make $1 billion selling something else. I don't know. I don't have a good example, but the point is it's like, you're actually really, what you're doing is you might think you're being disappointed, but you're actually leading to something better. You have the 8 of Wands, which is quick success. So again, if this was love, I do feel like there was communication with a person that didn't work out. For others, I feel like you were hoping for quick success in a situation. I would definitely be careful, by the way, of like any financial investments and things like that in this first row. I was like, I always use the example. I was on a podcast a few months ago, and the person was asking me about the state of finance, and I kept saying, I think if you know what you're doing, you'll be fine. But if you don't know what you're doing, then there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. I said that the financial markets I thought were going to be very volatile, and that's very true, right? They keep going like down and then like way up, and all the financial markets, crypto, stocks, everything, right? So, like I said to that person, I think if you know what you're doing, then you'll probably be successful. But if not, like, I would be very careful of like your cousin coming to you being like, oh, I have this great investment, it's gonna make you $1 billion. Might not be as good as they're saying it is, clearly. You have the 4 of Wands here as well. So again, I feel like if this is a person, you probably thought you were going to marry this person. For others, I still feel like luck is on your side. Like I said, the 4 of Wands, it's like 11, 11. Those 4 Wands, 11, 11. So I feel in a lot of ways that you're still going to get lucky as far as your happily ever after is concerned. Again, 10 of Cups is your happily ever after. In your next row, you have this crow spirit. It says co-create with spirit. So maybe there were certain warning signs, or maybe there were certain things in whatever the situation was that were kind of like the universe saying like, hello, this is not right. So maybe the universe was teaching you the warning signs. That's really the word that I'm getting here on this card. I'm not really getting anything else other than warning signs, plain and simple. You have the 9 of Swords. the Hangman and the Moon. I feel like this put you in Hangman mode. You know, it's like where you've had to maybe put yourself on pause. You've had to examine past situations and what you've been going through. A little bit of a mystery, but I really don't think it's that big of a mystery either with the Moon card, which is kind of funny. It's like maybe it's mysterious as to why something didn't work out, but if you really examine the situation, I feel like you're going to discover exactly why something didn't work out. You know, it reminds me of relationships. I always tell people, like in literally every single relationship I've been in, it's like I don't get mad at people in relationships because every single person tells you exactly what's going to happen. If we really, really listen to the person, they might not say, oh, I'm going to break up with you in 6 months, but they pretty much do. Like I can look at every relationship I've ever been in, and every single person has told me exactly what's going to happen before it happens, with their actions, with their words, everything. And again, I always tell people, it's like, listen, if you're going to be dating, you can't be a paranoid freak. You can't be like, they took their right shoe off before their left foot. That means they're cheating on me, or, some freaky thing like that, right? So I don't think we should be going crazy. I think we should be entering into relationships, not taking it too seriously, and saying, I'm looking at this as a wonderful experience that I get to share with another person. Again, co-create with experience. I'm just going to see what happens. So just because you know what's going to happen doesn't mean you shouldn't enter into a relationship. You can look at it as a learning experience. But what I would say is like sometimes maybe the person tells us they're basically going to cheat on us and we stay anyway. Those are the situations that you should be leaving, right? So I kind of feel like it's really not that much of a mystery, like why something didn't work out in the past. The good news is here, the good news part of it is that I feel like you are kind of seeing the warning sign, like I said, with that co-create with spirit card. You also have the Nine of Swords here. Nine of Swords is like a little bit of a blessing in disguise. You're not the only sign that has had a message of a blessing in disguise this month. So it wouldn't surprise me if you kind of find out that something not working out was actually a blessing in disguise. Because, like I said, there's a lot of energy in the astrology that I see where it's like we could think we're going one direction, but there's actually something much better over here. There's something much better for us. And I feel if we believe that the universe really wants the best for us, then we get it. Next, you have this Virgo card. This card says digest on it. I do feel it would be a good time for you to process the information. Whatever didn't work out in your recent past that you thought was going to be great, it might be a good time to just, again, look at it and say, were there any warning signs I missed? Were there things I wasn't paying attention to? Just so you can avoid it in the future. You have the King of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups here. I feel like this is you. You're coming up in a very strong position. It's kind of funny because at the bottom of the clarifying deck, also King of Wands. So we're going to clarify in a minute, but there you go. So I feel like you're coming up in a position of power and strength. I also feel like you're kind of really, it's almost like you're really standing up for yourself in a good way. So I like to see that with the King of Wands. I feel like you're being very straightforward with this energy. I also feel like you're ready to move forward, plain and simple. I'm not really getting walking away from the Eight of Cups. I'm just getting more moving forward type energy here on this card. And finally, this is what you're moving forward towards, Knight of Cups. Could be a knight in shining armor. Doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to either. This could be a good person coming in for you. But really, he's standing in the desert and there's water flowing in front of him. The whole point of the Knight of Cups is that he could easily plant seeds in the ground here in front of the water. And even though he's in the desert, even though he is somewhere where he thinks things cannot grow, the seeds he plants will grow. So I feel like if you're ready or planning or thinking about kind of starting a new journey towards your Ten of Cups, whatever your Ten of Cups is, again, your Ten of Cups is whatever you see as your happily ever after, or if you have a big goal, wish, or dream or something, it could be that as well. So I'm using the After Tarot. We're going to see what's happening after all of this in this reading. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Moon. Again, something was an illusion. Something was, I feel, and again, I'm not saying this is your fault at all, Leo, but I feel like something was built up in your head too much, too big, basically. And that's what I feel intuitively. Something was more of an illusion. It wasn't necessarily kind of a reality with the Moon card. And again, this could be a relationship. It's something that happened in the past. For others, for some of you, I feel like it's like a project that you've been thinking about doing. Or if you've launched something like a project, a business, a store, something like that recently, I feel like things didn't work out as well as you thought they would there. But again, this is not a problem because you're being given the opportunity to fix it here. Let's get that out of the way as well. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands. Love it. Almost every single person that I've read for has had the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is like a passionate new beginning, starting something new. The Ace of Wands is also like a card of growth, growing in abundance. So I feel there's a very solid new beginning coming in for you here, probably very quickly, because it's clarifying that Eight of Wands, and Eight of Wands is quick success, quick movement. With the Four of Wands, yeah, you have the Ten of Swords. This is definitely something that's dead, done, over with. There's no reason to beat a dead horse here. I feel like we already know this about this situation. I don't hate the Ten of Swords because, to me, the Ten of Swords, it's like the end. There's nothing, and it's kind of like a death card. He's dead. He's had 10 swords in his back. It's time to move on to something new. With the Nine of Swords, here you go. You have the World. A new beginning is coming in. The World is a card of completion and accomplishment. I kind of feel like you did pass this test, in a lot of ways, where maybe, like I said, you've learned what the warning signs you should be looking out for are. And whenever we do that, again, that can lead to a lot of success. So I definitely like to see that. With the Hangman, you have the Two of Swords. Stalemate. Two of Swords in Hangman is definitely an energy of being stuck. She needs to see that there is a better opportunity for her. Normally, there is a new island behind her, and you can kind of see it here on this card, but it's kind of being blocked. I always say with the Two of Swords that she needs to go to the new island. She needs to turn around and see what's behind her, because there's like a new opportunity. So again, if you're stuck, I feel like picking a new path or picking a new choice could be a good option. Again, if you're trying to pick between two things that are, all that glitters, basically, not gold, these two things, I feel like there's like a third thing, something better that you could be moving towards. With the Moon, you have the Five of Pentacles. I actually like this Five of Pentacles because this lady here, she's coming out of the cold. So if you feel you've been left out in the cold, if you feel like you've been abandoned, this could be in love, but it could also be like financially, or if you feel like you've been abandoned in your health, it's like you're finally pulling yourself like out of that, out of that cold energy, right? With the King of Wands, you have the Page of Wands. Yeah, you're ready for a new adventure. Page of Wands is very enthusiastic. He's kind of like ready for a new beginning. He's ready to move towards something new. And yeah, it's just that simple for you, Leo. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Queen of Swords. Finally seeing things clearly. She has a butterfly on the top of her sword there, Leo, on this card. So I feel like you're going through a transformation during this time. I do also feel that there could be an air sign coming in for you if you are looking for love. And with the Knight of Cups, you have the Six of Swords. Crazy. Almost every single person has also had the Six of Swords. I think I said Six of Cups, but with the Six of Swords, I feel like almost everyone has had this card. It's like you're moving on to calmer shores. You're moving on to something bigger and better. And again, to me, that's a sign of the times. I want to pull a final outcome here for you. You have the Judgment card. So being reborn. Again, I love this Judgment card because these people are coming out of the coffins. Again, the whole point of the Judgment card is to answer your true calling, your inner calling, or to answer the calling of your purpose, or whatever you want to call it. So I feel like you are answering the call here, Leo, and you're kind of being lifted up out of your coffin. You're being reborn. You have the Temperance card. You can turn a situation around. Again, what I would say is if this is a disappointment in like a project, a business, something that you've been working on, I just feel it needs some work. The Temperance card says, don't give up on it. You could easily transform it into something better. But again, you can see this dove is coming out of this cup. On this Temperance card, Temperance is a card of alchemy. He's been pouring the water back and forth between those two cups. So it's almost like you have finally transformed something into something much better. Does that make sense? I don't know. And finally, you have the Fool. The Fool is like saying you have to take a complete leap of faith away. I like the Fool card, but even in this after tarot, you can see that it's like he's fallen off the cliff. But I kind of feel it's because he didn't have like the faith. Part of the whole thing with the Fool is that he has to have the faith to take the leap of faith off the cliff. He has to believe that the step is going to appear when he takes his leap of faith. So I feel like the more you believe that you're having a positive new beginning, the more likely it is that you'll be successful. But a pretty simple reading, pretty straightforward. Again, I feel like you're just getting something better in your life than you thought. Better than what you originally thought you had, right? So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.